That breaking news in our Sunrise Smart Start. According to authorities, one man is dead this morning following a shooting on Weld and St streets in the city of Rochester.
Jatira Marsh joins us live on the scene with more information. Jatira, what have you been able to learn this morning?
Well, police say that they received calls around 3:45 this morning for reports of shots fired on the 100 block of Weld Street. Upon arrival, they located one male in his late teens dead who had been shot at least once in the upper body. During the investigation, another person, male in their teens, dropped off at RGH, was shot on the same street, and his injuries are non-life-threatening. Traffic is starting to calm down because the area was blocked off between Weld and St Street, but now police are trying to open the area up again. If you're just now joining us, police responded to calls of shots fired around 3:45 this morning. They located one male dead in his late teens from one gunshot to the upper body. Another teen who was dropped off at RGH via private vehicle was also shot on the same street. Any more updates we will post to our website, rochesterfirst.com. Reporting live in Rochester, Jatira Marsh, News 8.
Jatira, as always, thank you.
In a separate incident, Rochester police are investigating after a 15-year-old girl was shot last night. This happened in the area of 200 Genesee Street near Joseph C. Wilson Academy just after 7 o'clock. The girl was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle, and we're told her injuries are serious, but she is expected to survive. Police say there are no suspects in custody, and anyone with information for either of these scenes is asked to call 911.
As these scenes develop, we'll continue to update you both here on the air as we're here with you, as well as on our website. That's rochesterfirst.com. A man convicted of killing one person and injuring another in two different shootings last year has been sentenced to 50 years to life in prison.
29-year-old Robert Colin received 25 years to life on two separate charges, one for murder after fatally shooting 59-year-old Roger Palermo in March of 2021. The other for attempted murder after an incident in April of last year where he shot an unnamed victim during an attempted robbery in Rochester.
After a councilwoman alleged mistreatment and threatened to sue Irondequoit Town Supervisor Rory Fitzpatrick, Patrina Freeman is facing punishment from fellow board members. An emergency vote to censure Freeman is scheduled for this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
In the resolution from last night, Fitzpatrick detailed 10 reasons the board should formally condemn Freeman. The resolution includes, in part, antagonistic, disruptive, demeaning, and accusatory actions, improper use of government resources, and revealing sensitive information. Freeman, the first black woman elected to the board, says she intends to sue the town of Irondequoit for $1 million due to discrimination and a hostile work environment. We have reached out to Freeman's attorney, but we have yet to hear back.
News 8 is your local election headquarters. Day 3 of early voting concluded yesterday, and we've got a look at the turnout Monroe County is seeing.
According to the data released by the Board of Elections, more than 18,000 Monroe County residents cast their ballots early. Early voting began on Saturday, which saw the largest number of voters so far with just under 7,000. The data also shows the locations with the most votes are municipalities outside of the city, like Henrietta, Perrington, and Irondequoit. The board wants to remind voters that including today, there are 6 days left for you to cast your vote early. If you have any questions on how it works or if you need to find a polling location near you, you can just head over to monroecounty.gov/elections. And if you can't get out early to vote and are worried about finding time to get to the polls on Tuesday, we do have some useful information for you. This is a reminder that New York State allows employees to take up to 2 hours of paid time off if they do not have sufficient time to vote. You'll have to let your place of employment know at least 2 days before Election Day. Again, polls will be open from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. on November 8th.
Well, Halloween may have wrapped up, but some local businesses say now is the time to start applying for those seasonal jobs.
And if you do, David Seeley, director of the Workforce Development Group from Rochester Works, says you may find yourself in a little bit of a different situation this year.
And a lot of indicators suggest that perhaps there might be a little less brick and mortar retail versus online fulfillment, those sort of things, which still remain, I think, very strong and if not stable. So jobs like warehouse worker, delivery driver, those are the kind of the new types of retail positions versus, what we used to think of, working at the department store, brick and mortar type of business during the holidays.
Seeley adds, due to continuing labor shortages in several industries, many seasonal opportunities could become something more permanent.
All right, James, checking back in with you. Are we still mowing the lawn? Are we raking? What are we doing?
Well, you know what? Some people like to just mow just to get rid of the leaves, right? Just mulch them in right into the lawn, which I'm considering at this point because I don't want to rake. Just going on the mower and just tearing everything up might be the call. 62 degrees. If you do want to put some of those leaves to the street, I don't blame you. Today could be a good day for it. So we've got those numbers well above average, not only today, but looks like for the rest of the week. We will do a dive into the 8-day forecast as well as a bus stop forecast at the end of the show. Casey, Mel?
All right, James, thank you. Taking another look at the roads this morning. Things are still looking pretty good out there. No new accidents to report. There is some construction going on around the area that may affect your commute depending on where you're coming from, but they are the usual ones that have been going on for the past few weeks, so nothing out of the ordinary. 390, 490, 590 are running on time this morning.
All right, so take a look on your front porch. Whether it's carved, painted, or it's still just a pumpkin, it's likely you're questioning what to do with that leftover gourd now that Halloween is over.
Before tossing it out, there are a few alternatives. Of course, if you have the seeds, you can bake them for a fun snack, or if the pumpkin is still in good shape, you can turn it into a pumpkin pie. Dale Wickham from Wickham Farms may know a few things about pumpkins, and he tells us how to know if they're still good or not.
The main things you want to look for in a good pumpkin is that it's firm around all the outside. If you notice any discoloration or soft spots, that's probably a sign that something is happening where that pumpkin's starting to rot a little bit.
He also says if the pumpkin is starting to go, it may not be a total loss, especially for avid gardeners, and says the gourd can be used for compost. Time now to go inside the huddle. Today at 4 p.m. is the NFL trade deadline, the last day to make trades for this season. And while the Bills have never been big players at the deadline, they've been linked to some big names this year.
The Bills reportedly made calls about running backs Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. And if there's ever a year to make a splash, Bills fans know it's this one. However, Coach Sean McDermott was asked if the roster could win him a Super Bowl, and he had no hesitation.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm extremely confident in the players that we have in our locker room, in our leadership. And now we have to continue to grow and get better as a team and as a staff. With that said, I'm extremely confident in who we are and our football team.
With or without the deadline, the Bills will be getting a big piece back this week, with the team announcing Tre'Davious White will be activated and back off the physically unable to perform list.
For Halloween, the Sabres had a spooky good night. The Sabres outshot the Detroit Red Wings 46-18 and had the goals to prove it. Tage Thompson scoring his second career hat trick as well as 3 assists, becoming the first Sabre since 1993 to record 6 or more points in a single game. Jeff Skinner also scored the 300th goal of his career. Buffalo dominated this game, beating Detroit 8-3. They'll be back at KeyBank Center tomorrow against Pittsburgh, at 7:30. Here's what some folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning, and who's not talking about this at this point. The drawing for the $1 billion Powerball jackpot rolled after no ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn last night. That's 13, 19, 36, 39, 59, and the red 13. While no one hit the big jackpot, there was more than $59.5 million given in prizes, with 10 tickets matching all but the red Powerball. The new jackpot is expected to climb to $1.2 billion, the second largest jackpot in Powerball history. The odds of winning the jackpot are 1 in 292.2 million, but hey, you never know.
Someone's got to win at some point.
Yeah. At some point, someone has to win it. That is true.
Yeah, it's exciting. Good luck to those that are playing. Mostly cloudy skies, 50s and 60s. 8-day forecast. We've got warming trends on the way.
Thanks so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Have a good one.